Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I don't know how I can follow that. Yeah, I've got a couple of sheds down in Clapham, you know. Slight sort of amusing start to this when we were having a telephone conference about what botanicals would we all talk about. People picking tea and people picking chamomile, and somebody got quite excited about coriander seed and kept on going for a bit. And finally I said, well, I suppose somebody better talk about juniper, because technically that's what gin's supposed to have most of in it. So I ended up with juniper, but it is a wonderful product because it's been around for millennia. The human race has used it for thousands of years. You can trace back through all sorts of records, obviously primarily as a medicinal item. I mean, in 1269, the Nature Bloom quotes, "He who wants to be rid of stomach pain should use juniper cooked in rainwater. He who has cramps, cook juniper wine, it's good against pain." And in many ways, like so many botanicals, juniper's almost been used as a cure-all. It's certainly got diuretic properties. There have been claims that it encourages the appetite, and equally that it suppresses the appetite. So there we are, it does everything. There is a certain amount of current research going on, quite serious research actually, in the diabetes area, because it has been found that actually juniper encourages the release of insulin from the pancreas. So fairly soon diabetics are going to be able to drink lots and lots of gin. And in one or two places it's actually been suggested that it's useful for women in the form of contraception. So there we go. Now, juniper is obviously the flavour that needs to be predominant in spirit in the spirit for it to be called gin. That's what the EU rules say. What is used, why did we come to use it, and what are its properties? Juniper berries are not actually berries. First fact, they're actually seed cones, because the juniper is a member of the conifer family, or as I think they call it, gymnospermous plant. I think I pronounced that right, but I wouldn't know. Juniper basically is, of course, grown wild. Of all the botanicals we use, it's probably the one which is virtually, people don't cultivate juniper, they go and pick it up on the hills in Tuscany, up on the hills in, a very nice day last year, picking it up on the, watching it being picked actually. It was a damn good excuse for a good lunch. But it is grown wild, and indeed part of the reason why London gin became so well made is, in fact, up until the time of the First World War, there used to be a lot of juniper grown wild on the top of the Downs, the Chilterns and places like that. During the First World War, when the need for food grew dramatically, they both either ploughed it up or otherwise they grazed it away, and nobody's bothered to get back and plant any. So it's a wild rather than a cultivated plant. So it's been around and easy to do. It's not being a berry, it actually stores, if you've got a dry place, it stores easily, which is obviously an advantage when you've got something that's cropped once a year. It actually can be kept, once it's dry, it can be kept. And unlike most botanicals, or a lot of botanicals, I shouldn't say most, a lot of botanicals, the oils in it actually concentrate over time. They don't dissipate. I mean, if you have something, for instance, like ginger or citrus peels or things like that, they will lose their oils. They will actually lose their flavour. Juniper actually concentrates down. The berries themselves, of course, actually are 2 years old when they're harvested. And the interesting thing is when you walk around the bushes where they're grown, you'll actually see sort of this year's crop and last year's crop, and they grow literally alongside each other. Some ladies go along and give it a hell of a whacking with a stick. Don't get in their way because they'll give you a whacking otherwise. Putting their bits of sacking or whatever, or their collection baskets below it, and they whack the bush and down come the berries. So it was something that was very easy going back over the centuries to actually keep once it had been cropped. Its property, well, it is, you could say, of course, juniper is everything. You know, when you pick up a good glass of gin, the first thing you should see, the biggest thing you should find is juniper coming out at you. Piney notes, without doubt, resinous. It's a very heavy oil. It has certain citrus overtones to it, and that's why it marries so well with that other great gin, Botanical coriander seed. I won't talk too much about that because otherwise Peter will kill me because I might nick his little cork. Its very heaviness and its very pungent and its pininess was exactly what encouraged its use. If we go back to the days long before anybody had thought about making London dry gin with neutral spirit, and back in the days of the 17th and 18th century, when Mr. Coffee was not even a sort of a shimmer in his mother's eye, neither was she at that point. Spirit, its quality of spirit coming off a lot of the stills was distinctly of second-rate nature, and an awful lot of the botanicals that were being put in the spirit at that time were as much put there to mask the impurities in the spirit as they were to actually add flavour to the spirit and to make the gin. And juniper was ideal for that because it would do an awful lot of that. Once, of course, Mr. Coffee came along, the distiller, we were at last liberated. We could actually get real neutral spirit, and we could actually play around with the botanicals specifically to flavour the spirit rather than to mask impurities. And juniper was the one that really made it to the top of the hill. And its very nature also makes it so great to be in a spirit which is essentially a mixer. Gin's never really been made to be drunk neat. In the old days, okay, it was drunk with water, it was drunk as pink gin, items like that. It was never made to be drunk neat, and the advantage of juniper is that it marries up with other flavours and it never really gets subjugated. Any good gin cocktail, any good drink, you should still find the gin and the juniper coming out at you. Right. Yeah, there's the lady with the stick. I tell you what, she can't hardly give me what. Should we move on a little